Well, hi there, Michael. Thanks so much for chatting to us.
My pleasure.
You are, of course, the founder and CEO of Underwear Expert.
I
And
am.
I just wondered what sort of sparked your initial interest in underwear and how you became an underwear expert or the underwear expert, we should say.
It's interesting. I never even thought about the category at all. And about a very long time ago, I got involved in this business that was selling underwear, and I wound up taking it over, very early on. And I wound up turning it into a very large company. And over 10 years, we grew and grew and grew, and I sold it. And after after that experience, I became really well known in this business. And people would call me the underwear expert, even though there was no formal company name of underwear expert. I was just known as the underwear guy. And we at my old company, we sold men's and women's. We had 150 different brands. We had over 100,000 SKUs. So it was a big business. I also back then created National Underwear Day. So I was really the underwear guy. And then after I sold the company, I decided I wanted to stay in the industry because I knew so much about it. And everyone was calling me the underwear expert. So why not just create a company called Underwear Expert? And and then for the last 10 years, I've been running Underwear Expert, originally as a content marketing site, and then eventually we evolved into a subscription box.
And why do you think underwear, and let's talk about men's underwear, is a garment of clothing that's sort of worth giving our attention to? Because I think some people probably have underwear drawers that need attention. They maybe just get underwear as gifts from people that don't even really maybe know them all that well, or their taste, like parents and stuff. But yeah, why is it a garment worth paying attention to?
Well, I think for a really long time, women's underwear had a lot of attention and men's underwear didn't. And then at some point, men's underwear became more of a mainstream topic. And over time, it evolved. And now it's okay and it's socially acceptable to talk about. And I think, as culture has shifted, different categories have changed, this being one of them.
And what about social media's kind of impacting things? Because when you're talking about the first company that you were involved with, and that was pre-Facebook and well before Insta and that kind of thing. So what sort of difference have you noticed in terms of, I guess, there's a lot of underwear models, whether they're being paid for it or not, out there online, obviously, and yeah. What sort of have you noticed there, and I guess how do you use it in your business too, as a follow up?
I wish social media had started 10 years earlier, because when I would do National Underwear Day in the middle of Times Square, it already got tremendous exposure, and that was without social media. So I think social media has actually been really great. A few years ago when influencer marketing started and social media was being used more for commerce purposes, we basically saw that brands would use social media to get attention, but prior to that, they didn't even have the ability to get attention. They would have to sell their product to a large retailer, and that's how they would get attention. And social media really changed everything, where we saw all these little tiny companies pop up from nowhere, and they were using social media to grow their business. And just the barrier to entry in the industry just completely shifted with the internet, and then again with social media. So I mean, a lot has changed. Underwear models now even have their own brands of underwear, because once they have a certain size following, they're trying to monetize that, and underwear happens to be a good category. So yeah, it's very, very interesting what's happening right now.
So you mentioned being out in Times Square for National Underwear Day. So I think it's August the 5th. Is that right?
The date changed
Oh,
because we always needed approval from the city, and we had to kind of work around where the crowds were. So, but it was always early August.
Yeah, because I was thinking you probably went for summer knowing that people were going to be like out in their underwear, right?
We went for summer and we didn't do Mondays or Fridays in the summer. And because people, not as many people are around. And on Monday, you don't want to do anything because the news cycle. And then I think Wednesdays we couldn't do because that was the day that they had matinees and the traffic was higher in Times Square. So it was like a Tuesday or a Thursday, the first or the second week. But yeah, there's like a common misconception that it's a certain date, and it's really the date that I say it is. And but I haven't been involved in National Underwear Day in a long time because I sold that when I sold my old company.
Okay. Okay. What are some of the things that you would recommend that people look out for when they're, browsing underwear, whether it's online or in person, style, fit, color?
I think men's underwear specifically, I think there's a lot of stuff out there that is low quality. And just because they have great marketing doesn't mean that it's great product. So I think you really have to try things out and see for yourself if you like it, because everyone, has their own kind of personal style when it comes to underwear, certain fit things, fabric things. So I think the most important thing is that it's comfortable, and comfortable can mean different things to different people. Fabric is extremely important, and then the way it fits is extremely important. And I think you try things, you see what you like, and then you can kind of buy multiple things from that brand.
And what are your own preferences? Are you strictly boxers or briefs? And also, how many pairs do you own?
So I have to be careful with my opinion on best brands and what I wear, because someone asked me this question once before, and I said something about purple underwear, and then all these brands started making purple underwear. This is many years ago. I I won't tell you what brands I like, but generally speaking, I like trunks, and a trunk is a boxer brief that's a little shorter. So it might have a 1 or 2 inch leg instead of a 2 or 3 inch leg, or 2 to 4 inch leg. Um, I like trunks because they don't ride up. I can wear them daytime or nighttime. I could wear it to the gym, lounging around. It's just like very versatile. I when I was younger, I used to wear briefs, and then I feel like I kind of grew up and started wearing trunks. So
Yeah, I have definitely got back into wearing briefs, and I like wearing briefs, but I find them quite like hard to find actually in stores because it's mainly boxers and trunks. Um and yeah, so I've
yeah, but interestingly enough, so our customer base is 85% gay, and our top style is briefs. And I think if you go to other stores or other retailers, they'll have, completely different metrics than we would have. But, briefs are number one for us, then trunks, then jock straps, then boxer briefs, and then thongs. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, and thongs sort of started to become really popular, I'd say the last couple of years. Is that right? Would you say for men?
I think thongs I don't think thongs have become more popular. I think it's just easier to find them. We've changed underwear trends a lot over the years, or I've changed underwear trends, and I've convinced dozens and dozens of companies to make thongs, whereas previously they didn't make thongs. So you might be seeing thongs just because they're making them now. There was always a certain amount of demand for thongs, but I don't think that it's really changed significantly. I think it was just it was a hard to find thing, and it's perfect for the internet because most people don't want to go into a store and buy a thong.
Yes, yeah. And are there any current trends that you've noticed or particularly like excited by?
Um, I think if you just look at the last 10 years or so, I think one of the trends is fabric. There are only so many ways that you can make a pair of underwear. It's not like a car. Like you can't really change it that much, but what you can change is fabric and color and print. So fabric, I think, has had the most innovation in the last decade. I think that's really what has changed, and there's so many different choices out there, different blends of fabric with different moisture wicking properties or other properties, different, it's not like before where it was 100% cotton or some kind of synthetic option and you had really like two choices. Now there are a zillion different options.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And I mean, it's something fabric is something that's really, changing fashion in general, I guess, isn't it? All the different fabrics that are out there. Yeah. And Underwear Expert is obviously an online store that people can just rock up to and purchase things, but you also have your subscription-based service as well. So tell me a little bit about that and what the benefits are for members if they kind of join the Underwear Expert Club.
Yeah, so previously I just operated a online store where you could just buy a one-off item. And I wanted to do something different this time because I thought that was kind of boring. And so I put together this idea for a subscription. And, being the expert, I wanted to offer as much as I can to the customer. That way the subscription could be as perfect and tailored to them as possible. So a lot of times with subscriptions, you get stuff, but you don't like it for whatever reason, or it's not the right stuff for you. And underwear happens to be a garment that's very, very personal. People have very specific things that they like or don't like, colors, styles. So there really couldn't be like a one size fits all underwear club. It had to be as personalized as possible. So I took my background, and I have a lot of technology background. So I took all my underwear and my technology background and we put it together and we built some curation software that could help us curate underwear based on, my 20 years in the business. So you go to the website, you tell us what you like, you tell us the styles you like. I like briefs and I like trunks. You tell us the colors you like, you tell us the colors you don't like. Do you like bright colors? Do you hate green? Whatever. You tell us your size. And then we have 50 different brands and we have about 1,000 different products at any one time that we curate from, not including, all the sizes of things. And we take all your information and we try to figure out what would best fit you as a customer. And then we show you what we've come up with and we give you alternates because maybe you don't like the shade of blue that we picked out and you want something different. So we let you preview and refine your order. And then we also now sell other products other than underwear. So you can add something else to your box if you want. And then we ship your box. And then when your order renews for your next box, whenever that is, you go through the same process. We tell you that, okay, your order is ready to preview. You can review it, you can make changes, and then we can ship it to you. And I think there are a couple other things that are interesting. One is that, you don't need underwear every month. And with subscription programs, a lot of times you just get too much stuff. So we let you get your underwear whenever you want. If you want it every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever. And you can also change the quantity. The other thing that we did was we built some sizing technology because every brand sizes differently. And a medium in one brand is not a medium in another brand. So we ask you for your waist size, and then we take that and we convert it to the size in the brand that we're going to send you. And that ensures that you're always getting something that's going to fit. So, we try to think about all the different things that happen when you are dealing with a multi-brand curation system. And, we've built a large amount of technology that kind of helps make it easier and ultimately just better for the customer.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to hear like just how much thought has gone into that. And I think it shows when, people will find that out if they go and visit the website, if they haven't done before. And what's the, you mentioned that, quite a high percentage of the clientele is gay men. I'm not sure what percentage you said, but I just wondered what the significance for you is of this being an LGBTQ plus owned and run business and, how that shapes and affects the business.
It didn't start out as a business targeting gay men. It just started out as the business where we were curating, all the underwear that I thought was great. And then when we started asking our customers for, you know, information about who they are, we realized that, and also kind of looking at what people were buying, we realized that we kind of honed in on this niche, and, you know, kind of being part of this customer base also, it just made a lot of sense to me that why don't we just specialize in this? You know, we can't be everything to everyone. And there are a lot of brands out there that are not targeting this niche. And this is an afterthought. And kind of being part of the community, I wanted to do something that was, you know, like a safe space for underwear and other things. So, and we sell other things other than underwear. So it's kind of how we arrived at it. And I think this year, you know, we'll make a lot of progress in that direction as we kind of evolve more to kind of speak to this specific customer.
And yeah, going back to what you were saying about the sort of importance of it as a garment, I mean, I think, you know, our days kind of start with it and finish with it in a way, don't we? With putting them on and taking our underwear off. And when I have a nice new pair of underwear that I really like, it even, you know, even if no one gets to see it apart from me that day, it still kind of makes you feel really good in a way. I wonder what sort of do you get some nice feedback from some of your customers about, you know, probably not too detailed, but just like, oh, I felt good in that, or, you know, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, no, we get detailed feedback from people. You'd be surprised, but you know, a long time ago, I said that underwear is the first thing you put on and the last thing you take off, but the most important thing you wear all day. And I think that still holds true, because there's nothing like the feeling of a new pair of underwear. And, you know, you may not think about it during the daytime, but if it doesn't fit well, then you definitely will think about it. And it's just something that kind of supports you and takes you through your day. And if you're wearing something that's fun, only you know about it. And that's like a little thing that you can carry through your day. But, you know, for a lot of people, underwear is just like something they have to wear. They don't really think about it. So, you know, everyone's experience with underwear is very different.
Well, Michael Kleinmann, thanks so much for chatting to me today. Delight to talk with you.
My pleasure. Thank you.